Yes.
One, two, three, four. Street art is a movement that has entered the public awareness, and it's an emerging community that takes places in cities such as New York, Los Angeles, Barcelona, London, Bristol, Amsterdam, Berlin, and Paris. In this case, Miss.Tic is one of the most widely famous street artists in Europe. She is part of a movement that takes place in cities all over the world, created both by locals and visitors traveling from one city to another city as part of a global community of many thousands of street art artists and admirers. Miss.Tic began in 1981 using stencils with an icon signature in her images, a black cat slinking low along walls close to the ground. She became particularly known for works combining text and image, using aphorisms alongside a dark-haired, seductive woman who gazes directly at the spectator. At the start of her career, Miss.Tic only made self-portraits, as she says, to show that it was a woman who was speaking, that is, this woman here speaking to you. During these years, she realized that self-portrait was limiting her, so she decided to focus on the idea of femininity itself. In Miss.Tic's work, the speaking woman is found in the art's work content, since almost all of her pieces include a female subject, but also in the artist's own identity. Often, the identity of the artist is unknown to the passerby, and it is not possible to know a work based on a gender of the artist. But images in public space are themselves heavily gendered, and the public sphere is experienced differently by men and by women. Miss.Tic commented that men have always dominated the graffiti scene. New York in 1970s and 80s suggested a culture in which almost every graffiti writer was male. These graffiti artists were young men with a mere scattering of women. Now, there are more women graffiti writers, even if the subculture returns an aura of masculinity. Nowadays, the street art scene is less masculine, but women are still in the minority. Miss.Tic's pieces powerfully subvert the notion that a woman is the object of the male gaze. These pieces of work are also placed in public walls or spaces tacitly reserved for men, and which women have been traditionally banned from entering, or even locations known for sexual assault, verbal harassment, and general risk. Miss.Tic's art juxtaposes clever and critical text with images of women that she takes from media. She finds inspiration in women magazines as her art seeks to overtop the idea that woman is what we are given to look at, and to reject that mediatized meaning of woman as an image. The power in her work comes from the combination of text and image, alongside an urban setting, using textual puns to undermine the ways in which female figure is exposed according to the conventional gender stereotyping. The woman from her pieces adopts poses associated with lingerie and cosmetics advertisements. It is sometimes in companion of a male's figure who is attempting to kiss her while she stares at the viewer. Usually painted in a portrait showing head, shoulders, and torso, the females stand partly turned away but twisting her upper body back to look at the spectator. Sometimes she is positioned on a frontal gaze to the viewer, hand resting on hips or partly raising her clothing as it looks she is about to undress. This cliché of femininity is paired with a short phrase or sentence that makes a satirical dig at gender relations or contemporary society. Miss.Tic describes herself as a graphic artist and a poet. Her writing is full of allusions, half rhymes, homophones, and puns, multiple meaning, and a challenge to translate. Even the artist's name is a pun. When pronouncing Miss.Tic in French sounds like mystic, evoking both femininity and meaning. Either a noun mystic of the adjective mystical. In one work, a woman with long dark hair, wearing black asleep, or a blouse, gazes in three-quarters pose towards in the middle distance. The accompanying text reads, Femme de lettres. At one reading, this means woman of being. However, the last word lettre is a homophone for letters, which means literature and arts. So like the phrase sounds like femme de lettres, a reversal of the conventional expression from the gender literary subject. Here, a woman is pictured from the tights up, wearing a fedora hat, black dress and a leather jacket, carrying a pistol. The text reads, Je suis la voyelle du mot voyou. The repetition of the voyou sound pronounce part of the pleasure of this text, although the two words have very different literal meanings. In English, it reads, I am the vowel of the rouge word, which manages to imply that the speaker is the O in the center of the word mot. Most of Miss.Tic's work features women, or men and women. However, a few featured only her cat. In this one, the cat sits, looking off to one side in companion with a text saying, On n'est pas des chiens. Simply translated, this means we're not dogs. If the cat is speaking on behalf of all cats, then we're not dogs has a literal clarity. However, if the cat stands in for woman, and if the dog can mean, as it does, an ugly woman or a woman of low morals, then cat as woman is saying we're not dog is a statement of resistance of degradation. With all her artworks, the text demands multiple interpretations and elicits multiple meanings. It invites the spectator to take the words literally or figuratively, with the objective of overturning the reader's gender assumptions or the certainties of meaning in language. In recent years, Miss.Tic's texts have become more and more central in her work. While her stencils are meticulously prepared, her texts, born from her love for wordplay, are written impulsively. And though they have little to do with political protests, Miss.Tic's undeniably bear a certain feminist connotation, a reflection of her, if not activist, personal position. With an unequal sense of dialogue and poetry, she has created a language of her own, mixing shape and words and giving the city a new voice to share.